Hello Blender folks, welcome back. This is Gnomes and this is another weekday session of world building, on in this case rigging again, and we are making a cartoon mount rig setup combining multiple cartoon setups basically. One of them is Kamal's Universal Sonic Mount rig, and another one is Joe Carlino, a YouTuber. Joe Carlino's simple mount rig with jaws and stuff like that. Anyways, and so here let's get the soundtrack working. Oops, super high volume. Sorry folks. Then, okay, this list here is not so important. I've added some stuff, but this is more for my own work. What I need here to show you and complete here. So I've been experiment a few things to improve. I'm in a dilemma, of course. I can't be experimenting all the time, so this is not the case here. Not gonna do some crazy experiment. I need to conclude this list here, and so I need to retake with the anatomic ellipse that now I sort of have a good anatomic ellipse shape. It's not perfect, but I think for this card that should work. So I want to complete it, and so I need to retake the shape keys on the character. Actually, why I'm showing all these bones, right? I just need maybe these just the mouth bones here. I should remember to retake this bottom jaw arcade, right? It's too far from, and its shape doesn't look good also when the mouth opens. Yeah, there's a lot of, so there's some things I should note for myself. So like lower arcade strangeness, and also another little thing here is let's change this. This will be also the what is this? The something I can't remember right now. Oh yes, the mouth interior retakes. Yeah, mouth interior, because it's not wave painted properly. Or geometry, because I don't know which is the best approach for this rig here, for this setup. There will be many options, right? We can make it separated from the head. We can make it as a separate mesh object. We can, once I've already combined it and with the arcades and the tongue in a single separated mesh. So whichever thing, I don't think there's an ideal solution for this kind of issues. For more cartoony things, often we can just get these things like separated. It won't look bad because you see, it's not because of the shading. There's dark thing there's no light, so it's just gonna vanish in the dark. So this is not right. Of course, the shading here is not some strange textures there that makes no sense. Anyways, this is not for now. I'm not doing shading. So what I did wrong the last time, just to recover the information for you in case you didn't know, you don't know why I'm doing this. So it's because I have what I call an anatomic ellipse, which is this one. It's a constant shape key that, well, I've morphed it at 1, but at 1 it's not good, so the 0.6 is good. So this is just good enough for this character in terms of anatomic ellipse. And if I had to retake this geometry here in the shape key, probably that would make me have to retake everything else. So it's not good, but I have an intuition that if the changes are subtle, the retakes will be gentle, like not nightmares, not like, oh, you changed some few verses, now everything's broken. No, it won't really broke the things if I retake them now. Like, they would be just minor retakes, I think. So maybe for the future. And another thing, so I locked this because I don't want to be in this process disrupting anything accidentally, because I find it very easy to disrupt things. In, you say, sometimes we leave one of those selected and start editing the mesh, and that just broke everything, right? Or the shape key, or the worse, the basis. Anyways, thinking that we were editing some shape key, right? And so locking this will prevent me to making, right, some. This is Blender 4.0, I think, where they implemented this new lock shape with this option, which is fascinating. Life Savior, Rig Savior. So what to do here is let's start with some retakes. So the puff chick will be the last one, right? So, but it's left right here because it's more higher hierarchy technically. So that's just like that. So I'll start by this one, purse, and here is what's the reason why I've made some mistake before. I've modeled, I've remodeled, I've made all these shape keys, these morphs, with the anatomic clips at 0. And by doing that, whenever I put back the anatomic lip, which is a constant, then I would have another result here, because I wasn't seeing that. So the morphs would be added, totally added to this, to each one of them individually, right? So if I was working on the tall, which is just the Z motion of this bone, right? This. So I've modeled this on the morph, on the shape key. I've modeled this without this. So I didn't know what was the final output. That means that I've made an incomplete, I had a bad reference of the final output, so I've ended up modeling this, and as soon as I've added the constant shape key, things were not good. So this is why now I need to retake each one of these that I've made. This is unfortunate. So this will be the tall. We'll start with the, no, this is not, sorry folks, this is not the, this is the purse. This is the GX. It's this one. You see how broken it is. So I need to retake this these shapes, and I don't know if I, hold on, we'll have to yeah, so let's just hide, this is simple, just let's hide these eyes, mouth, interior stuff here, even cloth, and then the mesh. I have a vertex group here, so all this process again. So select mouth working, vertex group at the top, where's the top here, mouth work. Alright, then I have this selection, and so this allows me to hide all that. So now we can work only from this. Alright, the problem is that this shape key now, the purse one, with the addition of the anatomic lip at 0.6, which is the maximum, I just modeled it. Can I make this into the 1? I think I can, but is there a simple method? I think it's if I can duplicate it into some sort of, yeah, let's because that would be nice if I could fix that. I want to know this also. So basically I cannot do anything here if I, oh, it's locked. All right, move to bot, move to ensure. What is this? I have no idea. Apply, maybe this is geometry nodes. Yeah, apply all shape keys, no. Delete transfer shape key, copy the active, no, so not this one. Join as shapes, copy the current resulting shape of another select object. No. Mirror new shape from mix. Oh, that might be the case. New shape from mix. Let's try that. So this is the, so I disable this one. So this is, let's bring this up. So technically, if I swap them, it's hard to see, right? They seem to be equivalent, right? Let's see about the 3D cursor. Maybe the lip here. Yeah, so you see that would be an exaggeration. So if this is the full. So I think we got it. Yeah, let's. So I have to, it doesn't have a driver, so maybe I can keep this as a backup, and so this will be my new one, like this one, right? Yeah, because this is what I really need. So if I need to read it, then right, the other will be more flexible, of course, but it's annoying to have this thing. So let's make this highlight here. Because that's interesting. Hold on, here and here. So folks, here a interesting shape key thing. You see that I have this anatomic lip here, and it goes up to 1, which is the maximum. And this is the base geometry, which is very regular mesh. This is for mouth rigging, some principle. I've got it from the Universal Sonic Mouth Rig setup. So anyways, which is you can find documentation online on Blender Artist Forum. Anyways, here this is a special feature that I've made, which is an anatomic lip, but what is important here is that I've exaggerated, not on purpose, it was a mistake, and so that this will be constant at 0.6, which will be an intermediate interpolation state. Could be anything, right? But I found that, well, 0.6 to simplify. But then, let's say I don't want to have this variation here. I just want the maximum to be 0. Yeah, I want this to be the one. So how to do that? So I wasn't sure, so I searched then from memory and from these things, because I've never done this before, exactly for a case like that. So apparently the solution would be, one method would be new, you see this down arrow menu here, new shape from mix. So like I get everything disabled, right? Well, have the bases, right? Then let's say I want this to be 0.6. I don't want it to, no, I want this. And yeah, let's enable everything else. Let's say that I have some shapes there, so you see there's some driving thing there, so values. No, we need to reset those things, right? So now everything is 0. This is disabled and so what we need to do here is just get this one and new shape from mix. The mix is the combination of, right, what is, and so I've just created this key 11. Let's now disable this one, and let's bring this up to match here to check. And so if I place this as 1, you see that it looks like the other one, right? Let's disable. It will be a bit hard to compare, but this is the 100 and this is the 100 of the other. We can add them together, that will create even more. So if I had this, that will be a little confusing, right, to spot. So another way to spot, since we cannot double swap those things, maybe put the cursor here just to check if they are matching, like maybe the corner here. Yeah, they seem to be matching. So this is a game clone, find the difference game, right? So maybe the lip here, this point here, so you see here that same, yeah, so they essentially, it seems to have achieved the result. So this will become some sort of backup, and maybe in the future I can delete it. And so this will be my new anatomic lips. It doesn't have a driver, so I just put it here. And so this one has 100. I can lock it because I'm not gonna move it. And this one maybe go to the move to the bottom. Yeah, first time I've used this new operator apparently. Move to top, move to bottom. Okay, and this is the same thing I've already done, but so just delete this one. So now I can, yeah, so new shape from mix. We can refine the right, the thing, right, restore some, remake the shape key in a different way. Alright folks, so now we need to finally get back to this. And so purse, oh, before that, let's talk about some experiment. I'm not gonna do this, we're gonna work the shape key, but just a quick thing. So I was thinking, how can I improve the result of the anatomic, of the universal sonic melt rig for my character, because it is really complicated, right? There's I'm not satisfied, and I have other alternatives, of course, at hand, things to explore, other features in Blender, even add-on feature for melt rig, or grease pencil melt rig, and all that kind of stuff. So so there are many cards in the table, many decks at hand. A couple of them actually, but I've just found out that maybe there's an alternative way to do the universal sonic melt rig. I've never tried because, well, that sounded too complicated, maybe, but now as things start to become clearer to me how that would work, it relates to this bond that I've made here. So basically what the universal sonic melt rig does is that it uses a shrink wrap modifier, so that all the mesh from both the muzzle and the ghost muzzle, which is invisible and is behind, they deform altogether, except that the ghost muzzle inside doesn't have a this one here doesn't have a mouth hole. So it's a different mesh topology, but the mesh is the same, and it is highly subdivided. At least two subdivision levels of subdivision surface modifier, or maybe you can apply those things, maybe that will work better, right? Anyways, so by having a legion of bones, so this is a real technique, folks, we can mimic to a certain extent the shrink wrapping feature from the shrink wrap modifier if we convert the shrink wrap modifier into shrink wrapping deformed bones. Maybe not directly shrink wrapping deformed bones, they can be bone constrained to other bones, which are the ones which are shrink wrapped, but it doesn't matter. So it's shrink wrapping deformed bones, not a legion of them necessarily, just a few of them, but it could be a legion, yes. So you have some sort of a wire skeleton that is responsible for pulling and pushing the mesh in little bits, like a wire, yeah, a wire frame of bones. So this concept, it's akin to the certain more conventional, traditional proportional posing systems, and maybe curve net, maybe cage concepts regarding to cage deform, I don't know how to call it. Yeah, Rigify add-on actually is using these cages for the skeleton cage for the with bendy bones, even for the, I think with bendy bones with for the face rig. So you have like and Pixar was using the concept of curve nets. So it's all this wireframe of bones, right? And this is not very clever in Blender because it doesn't prevent artifacts, skinning method algorithm artifacts. It just makes the wire skeleton appealing, and it sort of helps for smooth deforms, but it doesn't prevent artifacts. If the bones they rotate like on joints, it's over, folks. That's artifacts. And so deforms are armature deform artifacts. So it's not a game changer. It just can help in organizing the mesh in certain setups. I've tried that system on joints. It's nightmarish. It's not sufficient. So I don't know what the guys do in Pixar. Maybe they have a better skinning method, or maybe they have secret solutions that very few know for rigging, for countering the artifacts. Maybe they just use something shaky like to do that, and they fucking care about. They just run the curve net, the things, right, the skeleton cage thing. So the idea here is not to use bendy bones for making the cage thing, the cage skeleton, but just some loose bones like this one. So you see, this one is an approximation of what I'm talking about, you see. So my idea would be experimental idea. So if I have time today, I'll start to make a split here and just try this, because there would be a simplification in relation to the universal sonic mouth rig. So what I would do if I did that is that I would prevent the ghost muzzle mesh, the invisible mesh, to deform alongside with the muzzle. It will just be a shield, an inner shield to prevent. Actually, if it doesn't deform, I can also make it an in-out shield, like a box shield. So I have a limit exterior and a limit interior. More than that, in this approach, there would be no problem with separating the deformed bones on the surface in relation to the deformed bones on the lips. So all the deformed bones on the muzzle and the mouth and the lips, they would be all the same junk. They are the same category basically. Now they are different. This is a simplification of the universal sonic melt rig, but I believe that the problem of being, so this is highly experimental. I don't know if that will work good enough, right? And it probably will lose a little of the flow that the mouth can have, right? Possibly because the ghost muzzle mesh wouldn't be changing. On the other hand, I would have perhaps a more stable condition to deform, to make armature deform in certain ways, because I would have this cage thing, right? So if I can control this like regularly, you see what I mean, right? I start to have a legion of these bones, and I can make some sort of proportional posing with them. And so this will be like some sort of subtle, gradual pulling of the net, of the mesh, with deformed bones. So that means that with this system, maybe it would be easier to draw the mouth shapes that I need for the character design. So there is a potential that, because currently the results that I'm having are just not sufficient. It's just too hard. Sometimes we can see some good results, but it's like over and over again, I just feel like, well, I'm not, no matter what I do, it's just always failing me. So worse than that, or as complicated as that, is that the universal sonic mount rig, because of the shrink wrapping feature, so I cannot totally escape that, but by simplifying the universal sonic mount rig, so I have been thinking about that, this would actually, this technique I'm trying to experiment that eventually it will allow the universal sonic mount rig to be exportable. That this could be a great advantage, even if it might be a bit of different setup variation, right? But it could be very interesting, right? So I have already experience with this translation, right, of features. So this is why I believe this is fairly possible, and that maybe certain results will be cleaner, at least for my rig. I'm not sure about the chin aspect, but that will be another question. So the arcades is something else. So it's really about the muzzle and the mouth lips, right? So let's go back now finally, and let's go back to our shape keys and start working on this serious business. And then if I have time, I start doing the split for the experimentation, folks. So here let's start with the okay, so apparently I have this. Oh, there are some. This is the muzzle ghost, and it has a lot of shape keys which are not driven. These are only, yeah, all this is not necessary. It's just duplicated mesh, right? So let's get, yeah, we can hide this. Let's get, not hide, disable that collection. So here I'm going to get this bone here, and we start with the purse, right? So this is already on the maximum for the x-axis. So to what I can do now that yeah, so I've learned the technique, right, folks? So what I can do is remake this from a mix, like about here, right? Or so right before it starts to be disrupted, right? So this is where this can come in handy. Let's make a highlight here. So folks, another demonstration of how this new shape from mix can be useful is for retaking shape keys that work combined, like not necessarily a corrective shape key, it could be a delta shape key, or maybe, or not sure, but it could be, in this case it's another case scenario, but you'll understand, is that I have these anatomic lips, and this one is the shape key that I want to retake. Purse, which is the this one, but you see that, okay, so this is the some sort of the, I've shaped that in that pose, right? But it's not good right now. I need to retake a little. But more than that, I did a mistake here. I made a mistake here in which I should have modeled it with this, which is a constant one at 1. So I forgot this. It was important, so they got mixed. So the root here should be made on top of that one in combination. So now I would have to fix this on the purse, because it was not built on the anatomic lips, which is a constant, should always be on 1 in this case. So this is a, right, so this is a combined case. And so how do I solve this? I would manually, no, I don't want to change this manually, never. This is yeah, the worst case scenario we do that. But so this is where we can, for example, so let's place this pose just before, drive the shape key, right, the purse shape key, just before it starts to get, let's reset, so this is the base position, so that's just before it starts to mess up completely the, right, something about that. And what I'm going to do, now I've gone edit mode, so note that I have this option here, I don't know, I prefer to use this shape key edit mode. It's the only way I know how to work with this. I know there's another way, so maybe it's for scope mode, I'm not sure. Anyways, the anatomic ellipse is on, alright. So you see that this is here, so what I'm going to do is that I'll pick this one, I'll leave this one on, and I'll make all the others are 0, or I could disable if I'm not sure, but I know what I'm doing. So just this, of course, the basis, the anatomic ellipse, and this one at this value, which is what looks good for me to start re-editing. So then I go at, it is locked, right? Unlock, and well, must be on, of course, must be on object mode. So new shape from mix, and there we go. So this should be equivalent to that. Well, apparently not. Okay, so I don't know what happened, so let's just do again then. Maybe it's something about the driver, so new shape from mix. No, so maybe it's something about this thing. Oh yes, of course it is. Okay, so okay, let's delete this. Delete this. Something went wrong here, folks. So apparently I need to do something better here. Okay, let's disable that. Yeah, definitively I don't know how to do this. Apparently this is taking the anatomic ellipse into account. Of course, it's adding the so this will be a different solution. Like I cannot just, oh, all right folks, so maybe what I need to do is just this. Yeah, so all right, I got it. So basically, of course you might have figured out already, I need to do this without the anatomic ellipse, because I'm just gonna remake, I need to work on a blank of this kind just before it's, so it's the same idea here, partially is this, just before it starts to mess up, it's about here, but then I do disable this, and now I will new shape from mix. Now I'm gonna disable that. I should copy the driver, right? But in a moment. So this I'm gonna just copy the name, and so you see this is the new one, and if I re-enable that, so I got what I want. So now I need to rework this key 11, the new one, from this state, and then get the purse that I want with this lip. So I'm gonna model on top of this, right? And so I have masked stuff, right? Hidden mesh. So this is all ready to work, and of course the driver didn't get copied, so this will be just, I think, copy driver, paste driver. In principle that should be the same thing. Yeah, so you see, if there's a variation, we do that. So delete the driver of the other before deleting the shape key. Otherwise, it go on your. I have some dependency cycle here. Doesn't matter. So some experimental things they are testing before. Otherwise, if you delete stuff, bound constraint, shape keys, that driver, it will appear the toggle system console as some warning. You have to remake a shape key, remake the driver. It's crazy. Remake the bone with the same name, so Blender will recognize the missing. It's a ghost feature that was left behind. You have to remake it. Fortunately, it gives some information about on the warning what was the name of the thing, so you can recover, but it's annoying, right? Very mysterious behavior. Anyways, so here I can probably delete this already, and I'm gonna just enable this. So this will be a purse also, maybe for I already deleted the drive, so it's really don't care about that because it was a huge mistake. I have other backups here, so purse, and I insist to have this naming here so that I know for organizational purpose that it was based on this one fold, right? Built on top of that one. So it's not that it adds it, it's just that it adds itself to it, right? So this is what I was doing wrong for the mix. I needed that to know where would be the right step, but then I needed to disable it before so I could get a new purse but with less intensity at its maximum state. So now it is reduced power, and the rest I will achieve because it's not sufficient, right? The rest I will achieve and shape as good as I want for the character design with the purse with the anatomic lips. So it's like a corrective shape key in some sense, right? So I'm at the same time I'm pursing the lips for the character design for the cartoon shape, but at the same time I'm making some small bit corrections on the anatomic lips from here. So that's interesting example of rigging, facial rigging with shape keys, and even combined with armature deform if you want. That's it, folks. Yeah, so very interesting case scenario. Let's get here the we need to model this thing then. I need to bring this up to the maximum. It is at maximum, and I need to edit now from this maximum. So I don't need now the bone, so maybe just this one. And alright, let's start to shape this. And here we'll have some, so big challenge now, right? The big challenge of character design. So this is like the hardcore thing, right? Well, depending on right? Some people say that the easiest thing, and rigging is the hard part, or maybe animating is the hard part. Here this is not good, right? So let's get this thing like this. I'm gonna hide all this and hide this as well. Smooth, where's the, Okay, it's here. Oops. Dot in the numpad. Smooth, right? Where is the... I turned this off accidentally. Control. I don't know this shortcut, so this is dangerous. Must know, try to know the shortcuts that can change fundamental features in Blender. Alright, so we stop accidentally. Yeah, so this is super tough, in my opinion, right? So I don't even know how to start this thing properly. It's just like that. It's easy if the ellipse is simplified, right? But if the ellipses are not simplified, it's like can be very complicated, right? GG maybe. Also, yeah, I have too much mesh here, right? So it's... Smoothing, no, smoothing is a disaster. What happened? When did I messed up this? There, it was at this moment. Yeah, so this will be hard work. I need to... Yeah, let's do the big thing here, right? First, let's pull this... no, proportional from here, and let's grow this, and yeah, just do this. See, here we don't need that. Reduce, so this will be a lot of work for the... And we need to prevent the clipping, right, on the mirror. So because of the X-ray, I can see very well. Well, not very well, but I can see more or less. I can sort of prevent that. Maybe I could try to shape the... First from this back part, because it's more regular, right? So maybe I'll model the morph model, I don't know. I'll morph this from... I'll edit this, yeah. The editing seems to be the correct way. Editing a morph, actually. Morphing would be like changing this value here. Looks like... Yeah, so I can probably start doing these ones, because I have then a better idea of what I want for the final volume of this, right? So the simpler thing first, in this case. So we got a clear idea of what we will need. Because when you got the idea, right? When modeling the volume, the abstract volume that it's very hard to configure the geometry, the complex geometry of an atomic ellipse to this all together with the volume, right? Shape with the volume, it's very difficult in this, in terms of mesh editing. These ellipse also is very incorrect, right? The way they are. So this is the inner part of the ellipse. So let's try to correct this. And maybe smooth that. GG. This is almost clipping. I don't want to know what will happen if I have clipping mesh that is a shape key. An additional, that is not the basis. I think this, I suspect this can be a very nightmarish. Alright, so here, yeah, so for this, I think this is mostly good. GG, this seems to be very inaccurate, but we'll see that later. So Also, this yeah, this seems to be very inaccurate. For some reason, I cannot GG that on that direction, right? I think it's this medium point, maybe. No, it's some awkward. Yeah, here I cannot. Yeah, so let's try to smooth this now. This one here. Of course, I'm losing the regularity of the geometry, so this I wasn't able to avoid so far, but we're gonna be fixing this as we go here. So yeah, so for the purse lip is indeed this thing, right? We need to get this mesh really close, and that should be simple, right? Of course it's simple because I'm looking from the back of the mouth, as you know, so as you might know by now. And so this is very simple mesh. The real job is much harder than this, but if we fix this first, if we got a good result here, then I probably can start complexifying later. Let's see, this, yes, this sounds good. Fine. Here and here, and I don't know what I'm doing here in relation to the okay, that seems to be somewhat the best thing. No, I can't. Yeah, because this is only the person, so I'll have to. Oh yeah, I can do this, right? I can compare like this, the position, right? Yeah, so it's not very clear, but yeah, whatever. This might help. So you see, the personal character design, I wasn't totally expecting this, but basically, yeah, somewhat we can say, maybe yes, that the lips would not just become, they're not, the volume, right, will not just disappear, right? We can shape them in some way like that, a bit more realistic, right? And even though it is stylized, so you can have this it's not like shrinking and disappear, vanishing the volume. No, we need to deal with this the organic shape. Maybe, well, of course, if we are more if I were more creative on the cartoon, maybe I would find a better solution than, but this is already super complicated, so I'm not gonna be how to say, blaming myself for not finding an easier solution. I'm just gonna say that, well, I want to preserve these anatomic lips. Also, you know, what I mean is that because if I were drawing this shape here, in many cases that will just be a 2D face, a 2D face, not a 2D shape that would be sort of volumeless, like stylized, right? Imagine anime, manga, sometimes that happens, right? So I'm not sure you get the idea, but just a circle, a small tiny circle, or a tiny mouth shape. It's like the mouth gets stylized, small, and the anatomic features just disappear. or they just reappear if you look from a profile, or sometimes not even a profile. So these adaptations is what I think would be quite difficult to conceive, right? Because in 3D you have to do everything. It's just nightmarish to need to be very, very accurate and everything we do. So this is why, well, let's shape it anatomically the hard way, but also the way that, well, at least, and there's an advantage on doing that. Maybe if I just turn this off, no, you see, we don't have regular stuff. But if I did regular stuff, then I'll have a bad anatomic clip. So that it's like, because this is sort of a corrective one, so it's very hard to get the right thing. I think there's not question the right thing. I think there's no solution for this. It's just an interaction between right. So because this is not a regular, the basis is regular, right? So if I wanted to have a absent lips for stylization, then maybe I could have some sort of special purse or a corrective purse, but that will be, so I don't know if I would need something like that. So you see, this is super complicated, but it's the way I'm doing, I think it's good enough. So I won't have perhaps this stylization that I was talking about, but maybe it's not required, right? Maybe if I get just a subtle anatomy here, well made, that is good enough for the spurs, so that in a way I might not require these further, let's say that will be perceived enough, but we'll see, right? I need to check the expression. So here I'm just trying to know to do, like, I'm doing a blank work here. I'm not sure that will be good enough for the character, the 3D character design, right? It should serve at least one purpose for expression, but it might not be equivalent to all that would be needed. So here, yeah, maybe we can do something here, and maybe the top lip, they are, so maybe we can, yeah, scaling, right? So scaling the, or shrink, maybe. Now shrink along normal, so no, this is not working. Global, maybe normal. Maybe I need to shrink along the, yeah, so this doesn't work the way I expect. So maybe it's the 3D cursor thing. No. Oh, it's normal. Okay, let's get the global. I think it's using the mirror modifier to, yeah, this is very crazy, so I don't know what's happening here, but yeah, so anyways, the idea is to just try to shrink this mesh a little so we can reduce a bit of the volume, right? And by reducing the volume we can get an approximation to the stylistic aspect of purse. I mean, for the most it's hard to say cartoony, because cartoony can mean a lot of things, right, folks? So I mean the more inorganic thing, more inorganic aspect of cartoon with no volume. And here, for some reason, I just cannot GG those things. So it's like, I think it's a shape key thing. I believe it's using it's like the vertex. The vertices, they have an original space. a local space on their own from the basis, and so this is why this is not working. Like I cannot just move them the way I want because they are using their original local space, which I cannot see here, and even if I saw, it wouldn't be sufficient. So I have to do it in this way, right? Very crude. Even some rotation here do the opposite. It's very strange. Maybe I'm just using some wrong technique here that I'm not aware what would be. Maybe sculpting would solve this better. Let's try. But I'm very bad at sculpting. Ah, that's not so hard. So shift to smooth. Yeah, there we got problem. Ah, sculpting is good. Welcome to sculpt mode in Blender. Welcome to sculpting shape keys also. Indeed, this seems to be a better idea, isn't it? So I was wasting so much time, right, folks? It's never too late to learn. Yeah, so here it needs more of this, maybe more string there. I'm not able to grab the... Okay, something like that. Aha. This is very precise, meticulous work, but it sounds a little relaxed, a bit more relaxed than process than the pure modeling. Yeah, so I had plans. I have plans to learn sculpting in Blender to improve my. So yeah, so you see, don't be afraid of sculpting. The reason why is that this also relates to the fact that, well, I identified too much with drawing, right? So sculpting was always, even I did some classes of sculpting, I just don't know what to do with sculpting very much, right? It's just, this is very personal, but I think it's interesting. I love sculptures, right? Human figure sculptures, but doing them is another story for me. And also I like abstract sculptures in modern contemporary arts. Yeah, sculpture as everything in the contemporary arts is a mix. It's a blending of everything, even concept. So it's like, I've studied fine art, so it's like I understand these things that no, it's very hard to understand. Some would say, yeah, it's capitalism bullshit. And in some sense, yes, the market has taken, you see this, how they call the biennales, I don't know how they call this in English. It was sort of, yeah, there's a capitalization of the arts. It's like, oh, why this artist is famous? I can do that, my kid can do that. So, but basically there's some stupidification, like it's, but at the same time, we cannot judge. It will be very naive to judge because you need to study, right? You need to study the history of the art. It's very, very complicated, and actually, yes, it's complicated because there are a lot of movements, a lot of process. I need to have sensibility towards it. You need to understand what is art about, and that goes deep to the existence of humankind, right? Why we are human? Well, because we do art. Animals don't do art, other animals, right? So it's like anyone that tries to garbage the total, like, I know this because I had to explain to family, friends, or try to explain, which a lot of prejudice, right? A lot of and then I was young, so I couldn't explain at that time because I wasn't knowledgeable enough. So at the same time, yes, there is a capitalization right? It's exploited, and so we fake art, real art, with those what is put in the museum. So this is a status quo thing. So it always existed, right? The history of art is full of that, right? What is recognized art was always something fostered by the big money, the big leaders, the big religions, right? So the big whatever you want. So it's always in church, sacred art of the ancient people. So it's art, so it's always associated with the major, the state, the elites, the power of all kinds. So who had the power in society had its representation in form of art, because this was a way because this is some invisible power of the art, right? Today we think of other stuff, but it's still there, right? In America is not America without the superheroes, with Hollywood, with a lot of things, right? So this is what art is about, right? Oh no, but this is culture. Fuck you. Art generates culture, and culture generates art. So it's some sort of that Ouroboros, what is the symbol, right? The snake that it's eating its own. There's no beginning, like it's like the egg and the chicken paradox, right? There's not a clear beginning there are probably some sort of blend thing. It's like this is not a so complicated paradox if you understand evolution. Not that we can solve the paradox itself, because we don't know the truth, but we can exactly the truth, but the theory can help. So basically, and so art is like, it's very hard to, the essence of it is like the thing that we need to be attention when we make observation of multiple expressions of art. And even if an art is horrible, it's very poor, someone that has good understanding of, or a good sensibility about art, good insight, can derive from even a bad movie, if you want, even a bad piece of art can derive a dream from that, right? Because art is not only about the positive things of life, it's about positive and negative. So sometimes a crude thing that looks horrible and inspiring and hateable is actually emotion, right? It's pure, is what art can do. It so it might have been done on purpose as a master, as a trickster artist, or it might have been done like accidentally or by lack of skill. But so this is the curious thing about art, right? So it's not only about the artist that shapes it, it's the public, it's the individual who observes the fruition of the art, is also deriving the art into something singular. So of course, great masterpiece, if we consider that this is true, then this genius in the art, of course, that those usually are more shocking, more appealing, more effects. They transform, they were like a vanguard, or just, if not vanguard, yeah, if they affect is because they have some sort of vanguardistic thing maybe. But anyways, let's smooth. The smooth is too strong, right? How can the smooth be so strong if I... Okay, this is the grab. Let's smooth. Yeah, the smooth is too strong despite... Okay, interestingly, by doing these adjustments on sculpting, I was able to explain all those complex... try to... No, not explain, just talk about those topics, right? Very philosophical topics, and keep working. So this is the magic of certain artistic forms like sculpting, apparently. I don't know, digital sculpting in this case. Not sure if this is quite equivalent to... Alright, so this is like really the flow, right, thing, right? So let's see now if this is perceive enough. I'm not really fan of the... But the truth is that it really pursed the lips, right, in a way that with armature deform would be incredibly hard to achieve. Not impossible, but I believe very, very stupid. Because, yeah, of course, if someone succeeds this with armature deform, maybe that would be very smart actually. But I mean, to do this with armature deform, that requires some skills that and some process that might not really worth it. And so this is a question, so I cannot affirm this totally, right? Maybe this is... And and more than that, I don't really want to be trying that because I know what it means. It's like probably you need to have multiple bones, and some will cross, some will not. It's like you're trying to... It's like you have bones carrying vertices, and then they dispute the vertices between the bones. The deformed bones are deforming they dispute the vertices. So it's a battle between wave influence. Completely crazy. That can work, yes, sometimes this works fine, but in a case like this, will be extremely... Because you cannot just rely on the lip bones, you have to have like helper lip bones, I believe, and helper mouth bones, and helper of helper and I don't know what more. So, oh, why I'm doing this? Let's bring this closer, right? GG. Maybe, yeah, this should be necessary. Yeah, do you see that it's not following very well? And I suspect that even... No, at least the smoothing works. So let's do this, right? GG. Yeah, it's something here. Some operations still work, more or less. But the edge slide doesn't seem to be working. Can smooth this one maybe. Let's see what it does. All right, let's approximate this. Maybe this will be better, and this one too, why not? GG, and this one too, GG. So get some shrinking of this structure. I'm not sure this is good lips for cartoony yet. It doesn't seem very expressive. It seems just awkward. It's doing its job, but in a very poor taste way. It's not expressive. It's just blunt. I need to maybe do something about the shapes here that I'm not sure what could improve them. So this is not exactly a kiss shape, so I don't know if I need to exaggerate these anatomic shapes or not. I can smooth this one. Okay, let's smooth this one. So I think we're getting somewhere. Smooth this. Oh, this is good. Yeah, and then here let's bring this down. Yeah, very difficult to rotate those things, so maybe this, just try to do this. Yeah, without the edge slide, it's edge slide. Yeah, the edge slide is just not working properly. Maybe it's, let's see. Local. Yeah, this is insane. So I already have very limited thing. Well, we can just go back to the sculpt mode, right? So why suffer, right? I've never heard about anyone talking about this, but you know, shape keys. No, so let me talk about that. Apparently, shape keys are not very nice to be editing because some controls just do not respond correctly. So maybe some work can be achieved, but the edge slide seems to be broken, and so this might be the reason why we should, for at least for this kind of version of Blender, if I don't think it relates to any option that I have here, it's just some, it's just how it is, right? It's broken. Yeah, so here I have this challenge, but probably by just doing this, maybe I can easily fix this. Yeah, maybe this is more intuitive than the... Yeah, maybe this is still better, because since I've already limited on the tools of the edit mode, so this is why sculpting might be a better solution here, right? So we don't want... This is already as hard as it can be, and then if you have limiting tools which are failing all the time, though, then that's even worse, right, folks? So here, let's just try to... Okay, so this blue tint, deep blue tint thing here, assuming it's blue, maybe it's violet. The one behind, it's the it represents the ceiling and the floor of the lips, let's say like that. This maybe would be a better task for for the edit mode. Hold on. So let's do this by little groups so I can prevent some mistakes here. This seems to be the side lips. I don't have the proper color there, but okay, this seems to be a good purse thing from the interior, but from the exterior maybe not yet. Yeah, we have some problems. Let's go back to here. Try to smooth these corners. Let's save also. Why this is shaped like that? We don't need this exaggerated shape here, so we can shrink here too. Good idea. If I can grab this one, why not doing this, right? No. So here I don't know how to solve this part. Seems to have some need to go in the inside. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what is happening, not that I don't know how to solve. It's just reorganizing from here, just if I can. So I've simplified this mesh a little, that should be helpful. Let's grab this one, and that seems to be good. All right. Why? Okay, finally. Yeah, this seems not to be very nice, right? Okay, and to conclude this, because I think I can conclude now, it's gonna make this on edit mode. So there are some advantages and disadvantages. let's smooth this, expand and smooth. Right, and then I don't know what's happened to save. No, it's not a regular face, it's just have some strange shading there, but that's we have intersection. And that is it, this is it. Now I need to get this thing. What is this? Okay, this is something about the melt in the corner, I think. Yeah, let's leave it like that. Alright, so let's see now. It's maybe I've overdid the size there. In shrinking, I mean. So I'm not sure if I did anything, if that is good again, but we're gonna see better results if we combine this. Yes, so like this it seems very useless, but in terms of what it can do for the combination of melt expressions from, I think that can be good enough. So you see, this is really tough. I spent all the time just to make this corrective thing, and it's just not sufficient. It was not sufficient to get the, yeah, let's try the, we have a happy melt. Yeah, we can get some stuff here. Of course these other combinations are not ready, but, and not even the deltas, right? So this is just the shape key thing, right? And we can have also, yeah, the negative is certainly not working, because probably I have to retake, because the lips are enabled, so I need to, yeah. So here, let's see what's happening to the vertices is some, because probably I have to enable some modifier there. I think that, no, I don't know what's going on, folks. Not the subdivision. This doesn't matter if it goes here or, alright. Okay, so this is a new shading pattern. I can't explain that. Usually it was this one. Yeah, in principle I need both, but I don't know, maybe, it's because I have a vertex group, right? So I have not, it's affecting, yeah, so this would be the, maybe this is the correct thing, but it's not sufficient here anyways. So let's see what we have here. Yeah, the shading here is, it's kind of funny. I liking the, how it looks. I don't know why I have this appealing right now, something something, but I want to fix this melting here. I'm just can't look at this stuff anymore. Let's get this mesh here by material, and what can I do with that? It's velvet. Do they have any other temporary smooth fabric? No, I don't have gums. Well, maybe gums. All right. It's just junk material here. Okay, that works. And with the compositor, of course, this is too bright. I can redid that, but all right, just checking here so I can have something change about the lighting that I'm not understanding. Well, let's try Shift 3, F3, compositor. Basically what I have here is I can have this posterize effect. Compositing, let's see. Okay, for some reason it doesn't want to show the compositing thing. Of course, this is the simple posterize, which can sometimes give interesting results. Right now, for example, it's not too terrible. But of course, this is not. We have other. So this is the default posterize. And this is another thing that I found from a tutorial. I don't know the name of the guy, but there's a tutorial about how to make custom your own posterize effect in the compositor in Blender. So have those matte things. So this is color theory inside those digital domains. So I have no clear understanding of how this works, but that's the setup. So each one of them, so then we just have to edit those values here, and so I have made many of them so I could check. So this one is very bright, right? This goes to the group output. So this is now currently too bright for what I want. Could also be a light thing. Why my sun is 2000? I mean, not 2000. And then yeah, the world here is too big. That's why I have this. I have to have this value. So this is pretty annoying. Let's leave as it were. And here is, yeah, same thing. Maybe the size are wrong at this point. I can't know. But the sure thing is that the exposure here is making the difference. So this is contrast, but this is fake. This is no contrasting at all. This is the opposite. This is, let's probably delete this at this point. And this one, what it is, retro game graphics. Let's see what it's near the same junk. So probably this was a bad setup. So I'm not gonna end this last one. Okay, this will be like contrasted bloom. So this, yeah, doesn't look quite like that. Oh, because I've changed the light. Yeah, so the sun. So let's do something like, yeah, let's give this value here. Then here we, yeah, Yeah, so let's leave at this so you see the real thing here. Yeah, this reducing cause some bloom, which can be, it hurts the eye, right? So this, let's give some value like this. This can be about 20, maybe a little, yeah, about 20. And this one, then this is the more subtle one, so this can be here. Then we have this one that is just still not good, right? It's too bright now. Yeah, so I just can't find a good output here. Well, let's compare. Yeah, so all those are now a bit dead, but they were already bad even with this one. So this, if I compare these two, they are very similar, right? But the second one seems to be a bit better, so I think I'm just delete these ones. I'm just gonna keep these two. Yeah, because these had some okay, there are some ideas behind some choices here. The difference is that this one has a little less here. They are they are nearly the same, right? So yeah, so nearly the same, don't need that. Yeah, because after some time, yeah, I decided that I won't do cycles anyways because of rendering quality. Then maybe you can do some, let's see this Kuahara, which is disabled. Let's use it alone. Hide this, no, mute, Alt M, mute. Let's bring this here. This for painting effects, but it's not. Maybe we should just combine that. No, let's do. Let's bring it there. Switch. It doesn't seem to be doing anything. Maybe there's something. Oh, here it is. All right. So there's it. Now it's clear, right? So it's interesting. Maybe it could be considered as a way to smooth the low poly thing, right? So never thought about this. Hold on, wrong one. Can sharp, okay, this sharpness is also nice, but if I this sharper without it, anyways, uniformity, I have no idea. I already explored this other ways. Eccentricity, this seems to be blurring some edges, so So maybe get something like that. And sharpness, sharpness, this is horrible, it looks like a blur. So I'll get the sharpness at maximum. And mute. Yeah, it blurs, still seems to cause some distortion. Yeah, so I'm not super favorable of all the effects it is doing. Maybe it's just the size is too big, right? If it happens very subtle, maybe that can... Yeah, so it's very subtle. No, it's still messing up the eyelashes expressions in some angles, I think. Alright, so let's not use it, and then what if I combine these two? Doesn't seem to do much, right? Old school graphics. Alright, so no, never mind. So let's leave it there. So I simplified the compositor, and I think I'm gonna not use the Kuahara anymore because I already checked what it is doing. So this switch is just for hold on, when is that? Oh yeah, of course I need this, right? So this posterize is just as a mean of comparison, but it's also maybe in the future it can serve some purpose. Yeah, sometimes there's some interesting results, right? But it's not on its own is not enough, right? This is a little better, even though it's far from ideal. It's just too dark, and maybe this is why I wanted, yeah, like, but maybe this, yeah, let's leave the sun like that. Okay, folks, get back to the layout and Shift F5 and dot or period on the character on the. Let's go back to our work here, and I need to be making okay, so this purse, combined purse we achieved, right? So this seems to be fine. Why is it so grainy now? Yeah, it's not bad. I think it can work. So we check the shading there. Yes, this seems to be, we can work with that, especially because now by adding other shapes we can. Okay, let me check this on the to-do list. So we have this like this would take with an atomic clip. So we got the, yeah, so basically have to retake, unfortunately. Maybe it's happy and sad, I'm not sure, so I'm gonna probably so the next one would be tall, right? No, wide. So it's the opposite of purse in some way, but it's not with the, yeah, so this one. So this one will be like this. We are, oh, I forgot to calculate the time. Let's see how much time I'm doing this session. This is about 1 hour. Yeah, so let's just try to complete this next one, right? And this is taking a while, right? This is difficult, right? And I think I've just watched a Yeah, so for this one, no, not this one. Let's lock this one. So for this one, white, only here available. I'm going to, yeah, I'm gonna work directly from this, because this is not a case where it's completely disrupted, right? So it's easier to manipulate. So I'm just going to work here with some the anatomic clip for here is so much stretched, right, that it might be okay. It doesn't need to be, it's not as delicate as the other, I think. There's more things to mess up here, even though the shapes are very big, and the tools here are responding a little better. So I can always smooth this, and so I'll just have to make sure that I get these corrections here for the anatomic clip. And yeah, so here we got GG. No, let's do this. And all right, let's get this and this. Let's get this. Yeah, I have some trouble with, oh, because this is okay. I just need to the angle is hard to visualize depending on the angle we see, but this is, there's actually, it is working. It's just a little, and you see in the end it seems to be combining, it seems to be working, but we can improve a little more these expressions here, especially for here. So I'm gonna bring this not here, maybe same for this. Yeah, so this one, fortunately, this one is was mostly a piece of cake compared to the other, but maybe it's too soon to say everything, because there might exist a few more challenges here. Let's just make some selection here of these face loops. GG. Let's hide this all these features again. Trying to get some alignments here. Looks like there's some crossing here. Is that the case? Yes, so apparently this is being no, it's not this vertex. I can't see what's going on, so let's just smooth this out. I can even delete these things if I am not satisfied with them, or just delete how they are shaping, because I don't reset auto the bases and edit these things later. They might not even need shape keys, these ones. You can, or maybe just up to here. So here I'm gonna just hide this so you can see what's really happening there. Yeah, so there is some crossing. I think this needs to go down. Proportional editing. Alright, so maybe if I try to follow the curves here, this will be a little better. Yeah. Okay, so maybe it was just that one. Yeah. Let's save here. Let's smooth this out. Smooth again. Let's check. Now the shapes are not very nice, right? Got some pretty bad distortions everywhere. Not appealing. So I'll have to keep adjusting these things. Yeah, so as as I suspected, not that simple, but yet most likely easier to solve than the other one. So maybe I have to pull this down. This needs some volume here. Smooth this, maybe this one. You can GG reduce these ones, yeah. This one probably, yeah, so I need to try to pull this forward. There it is. It seems to be unaligned. So this is the top diagonal face, right? So sort of protruding this just slightly. Same here. Then a little more here, and I think here we can play with the shape just a little, but it's probably not necessary. And it's a little strange, right? So we're just gonna do this. Also GG, GG, GG. Not sure what's happening there, so maybe just smoothing scale. Smooth and scale. Smooth scale maybe. There are some strange shading. Yeah, this is just probably I messed up this these positionings. Move this maybe a little far. No, this is dangerous. So maybe with proportional posing, just expand these selections and protrude this a little. Still very bad. Or maybe it's just the shading from this smooth this. No, scale. Maybe this one. Pull this forward maybe. No. Smooth this on the other direction. Maybe pick these two and smooth. No. Okay, so it could be a shading thing on that mode. Yeah, it could be just some. Maybe I can try to fix that manually. Ah, I see what that is. Is the shrink wrapping. It's too harsh on this part of the muzzle, and it's like this is too close. It's too far, right? So maybe, or too close. It depends, right? So yeah, so it's like when I shaped the lip, maybe I protruded them too much, and so that means that perhaps I'll have just to pull back. But you see, it doesn't seem to be helping. So it's not terrible in the sense that maybe that is giving the lip some sort of extra expression for this that is not necessarily ideal. So let's GG this. Scale. It's not like in the shading, of course, shading viewport, it looks strange, but on that one. But if it's just here that disappears, then not in. So this might be workable. Yeah, this can be acceptable. Right. Okay, so we've corrected these two. Here, I think you can give this shape here a little more roundness. What if I smooth everything? Can it help? Yeah, maybe that helps. And here too. And another thing I can do maybe is just to change the shrink wrapping power of that. Yeah, maybe that's what should be doing. So shrink wrap muzzle, and of course I need I know how to do that. Is the where's the no, it needs to be something is wrong. Oh, I need to be on some. Alright, sure. So I'm gonna get here W. Yeah, we need to be on that mask vertex selection. Okay, not sufficient. I want a face loop. Why it is not working? Maybe it's this one. Okay, maybe it's just for this one. Alright. This and well, actually, let's do this and no. So I cannot. Alright, then I don't know. I don't know a single edge loop. I don't know, but what I can do here is just try to reduce this even more. So instead of this current wave of 4, right, we're gonna get this to maybe something much lesser. And so this shrink wrap will be much subtler, if that word exists. Gonna have here. Alright, let's get this. As for this other, we could consider if it needs to be also that strong, right? So could consider, for example, wave pane mode 2 for that. Yeah, so currently it's like that, so maybe, not sure, something like that. Maybe that can help getting, yeah, so we've made some improvements on that, so I think that is fair. And so now we have so now the lips are, anatomic lips are somewhat adapting to these crazy shapes, right? Not to this, right, but not to everything, just for purse and wide. Then we need to continue on the tall, and then we have the, we'll have a delta here, which is purse plus tall, then we times tall, right, and then multiplied, right. Then we have here another, which is tall times wide, and then yeah, and then we have sad. I'll have to remake according to the anatomic lips. Happy need to remake, and then I'm not sure about this, if I need to retake that. Ideally, yes, but this will be start to make a lot of extra corrections, right? So this is very, yeah, person sad is not person happy, person sad. Yeah, so this is pretty sad that we'll have to, but this I haven't corrected yet, so hold on, we'll have to see them individually and see what that looks like. A frog mouth. So let's see also the combinations with the rest, folks, and let's just check this next this thing that we've made here. So the burst wide. Yeah, so let's see how the expressions are doing now, how they are faring. And yeah, no, not this original way. This moves down, right? And hide the bone. So let's see what we have here. Yeah, because we are working with shape keys, what we want to check is more specific. Some strange interaction. Oh yeah, because I've reduced the amount of shrink wrapping there, so this is creating a different condition for certain expressions. Maybe this relates to how these bones are posed. No, they are already shrink, so because they can do that, right? So this is not exactly kiss shape. We can't do kiss shape with the rotation of the bones very well with armature deform because of the skinning algorithm. So this is, we can try, but this is, I know some riggers that have, I won't say succeeded 100%, but they got something like, oh, okay, this is working sort of. So it's still very complicated, so I wouldn't recommend. It's feasible maybe with some helper bones like fan bones we can sort of achieve, but it will be super annoying. So I think there's no reason why not focus on shape keys first. So this is why I have that kiss shape to make. So that also must be done on top of the anatomic lips. So here I'm just playing around, but essentially it's not clear what would combine and what will not here, because so the purse here is very let's check here. So this is okay, so this is interesting. Yeah, I need some I have automators for that, so hold on. Let's try again. So I get this, and then we have something is failing here on this bone. I don't know what is. It's moving too many. So these are some of the complications that can derive from combining armature deform and shape keys, right? So not very nice, right? So Here I really don't know. Maybe this bone is moving stuff differently, because when I was just moving the individual bones, that seemed to be doing some okay job. Like here, you see. Yeah, and then we start to have mad. So yeah, the transformation, the proportional posing doesn't work very well on these kind of shape keys, because the mesh was all modified, right? And then when the bones, I believe, when the bones start to try to deform it, the mesh it's all in all directions, right? So this creates a lot of inaccuracy, which is very, very unpleasant. Yeah, so we can still shape, but it's like very, very unstable. So I think it's really, but at least it was just the first one, right? That is yeah, probably that will happen on others, but and yeah, there'll still be happening a lot of I'm not using the subdivision surface modifier even, so maybe that could improve a little some of the results. Don't worry about the teeth vanishing. This is a boolean thing that is wrongly set, but doesn't matter. I'm still trying to figure out a better alternative. Yeah, so it's kind of funny. So with the subdivision we get slightly better results naturally, but it lags. Maybe I have to apply it at some point. But it's funny, right, folks? So here, stepping forward, but this is very, very sluggish. I must admit that. Unfortunately, yes, shape keys are time consuming. So here we got, well, that's not here. So let's see again this list. Yeah, so tall, rounded, happy. Yeah, some will be quite fast, but if I just focus that, maybe in 4 hours, in 2 more sessions, I can complete until the kiss, right, from tall to kiss. And then it's like we'll have rotate all the anatomic clips, even the deltas, and that means that there's nothing else to do regarding shape keys, at least not that I would like to. So that opens up to complete the remaining of the setup, so just maybe improving the waves, and also maybe trying to get my ideas about the experimental thing about the universal sonic melt rig, right? So once again, but on a different perspective, something I've never tried, which is the shrink wrap bone constraint only thing. Alright folks, so I think that was it for today. So you see we're having good progress. Technically we might not need the universal sonic melt rig to set a lot of melt expressions, but the shrink wrap feature for a muzzle like that and for many melt expression would still be necessary for doing stuff like that, right? And you see it breaks very easily, so this is not something that is I would say, even though I have in this rig done a lot of progress, some things are more successful than others, but I'd say the amount of issues it contains is just too big, right? And so this is why I'm migrating to, so I'm sort of rushing, right, already to try to conclude this. I think shape keys this week I complete, then the experiment that I really want to know, because if I succeed with that experiment of the shrink wrap bone constraint with the net of bones, skeleton net onto the muzzle, right, it might be possible to achieve certain easier deforms theoretically without so much suffering, because of the shape of the muzzle, right, and because of getting the mesh, the ghost muzzle mesh static. So if I happen to make the experiment out offline, then I'll bring it. It might be actually more interesting. Anyways, folks, hope you enjoyed. That's it for today. Take care and happy blending. See you tomorrow or any other day. Feel free to be around. So take care and happy blending, folks. Enjoy.